Hello movie nerds, and welcome to Cinematic Sarcastic, the podcast that talks all things movies and television. My name is Natalie, and I'm your host. On today's episode, we're going to talk about a wonderful show called Love, Death, and Robots. Season 3 dropped recently, and I wanted to talk about a few of the standout episodes for me this season. I'll try not to give out any spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen this season yet, or for those of you who might not have discovered Love, Death, and Robots. To give a little background about the show, it's typically a collection of about 8 or 9 animated episodes, each one being done by a different animation studio. I find it incredibly cool. It's really neat to get to see the different animation styles, and the stories are always very unique because it comes from different studios. So for season 3, the few standout episodes for me were 3 Robots, Exit Strategies, Bad Traveling, and Jabaro. Before I jump into my thoughts, I want to make a statement that my 3 favorites in no way diminish the other episodes this season. Love, Death, and Robots are some of the most amazing animations that I've ever seen, but talking about every single episode would just make this really long. So let's jump right in with 3 Robots, Exit Strategies. This is a returning animation. We were introduced to 3 robots in season 1, and I've loved them since they first appeared on the show, so seeing them back again was extremely delightful for me. 3 Robots takes place on Earth. It's post-apocalyptic. In the original episode, we were introduced to the 3 characters, and they were Xbot, who's a taller sort of humanoid robot, KVCR, who is what I would call the comedic robot. He reminds me a little bit of the tiny droid from Star Wars Fallen Order, if I have any gamers here, but he can talk, he's self-aware, but he's a little bit like the cute robot, the Grogu bot, if you will, and I completely adore him. He is my favorite of the 3. The last robot is 1145G, and she was what I would classify as the information robot. She takes pictures of all of their adventures, and she seems to have the most information out of the 3 of them. So in Exit Strategies, we get to see the 3 continuing their adventures, and this time they're traveling around Earth, learning about how the humans spent their last days. I never fail to laugh through episodes with 3 robots, and I definitely hope to see them in future seasons. Bad Traveling is a bit of a darker tale. Love, Death, and Robots does tend to push the boundaries of what would make us uncomfortable in storytelling, and this episode was definitely one of those. Bad Traveling takes place entirely on a ship that's out to sea. They've been attacked and taken over by a giant crustacean. Yep, you heard that right. The ship's got crabs. There is, I would say, a standout main character, but I would not call him the hero of this tale, as many of his actions are entirely self-serving, and he's just not very nice. It's definitely an episode that had me on the edge of my seat up to the very end. It's one I would for sure recommend not skipping over. The last episode that I wanted to talk about is one called Jabaro. This was the finale episode and seems to be getting some mixed reviews online. It tells the story of a siren and a man who is deaf. The animation in Jabaro is one of my absolute favorites from any scene, and the story itself was very unique. There are a lot of points that are very chaotic. The characters are worked into a frenzy. It's not the typical pace of most of the other episodes. This one was one of the harder ones for me to watch, just in how brutal some of the scenes were, but in a way, this is exactly why I love the series so much. The stories aren't the typical, pretty animations that you would expect from most other studios. A lot of them, including this one, really step right up to the edge of comfortability, and I really enjoy that. So what did you think about this season of Love, Death, and Robots? Did you enjoy this season? Are you looking forward to more? I know I am. Leave me a comment if you want to continue the discussion or share your thoughts. Subscribe if you want to join the Movie Nerd family, and I hope to see you in the next episode.